Hello and welcome. Today we're continuing our playthrough of The Adventurer. If you want a breakdown of the rules and how the game works, please check out my previous video on this subject. It'll also give you a background on the story so far. In this session, our goal is to draw our next location. This will be where our character is going, and the journal entry for today will consist of describing that location, why our character is going there, and what they hope to find there. So, without any further ado, let's draw our location. Dum-da-da-dum-dum-dum. Next location in our hero's heroic travel is a place of worship. Ooh, that'll be interesting. Good thing I've already established some details about goblin religion. World building pays off. And our theme for this week will be the world! Or the world upright, for those of you unacquainted with anime. Well, that should be interesting. The world signifies completion, achievement, fulfillment, sense of belonging, wholeness, and harmony. Exactly what is lacking in our protagonist's life at the moment, and what she hopes to find in her next location. Well, let's see what happens. On the second day after I left the tunnels, when I was small, my grandma told me of when she was small. She told me of a place where goblins were many and were safe. Remember. It was a temple to the Lady of the Moon. Remember. I must find this place, and I must go there. The hills of my home are not safe. Remember. Grandma was a priestess of the Lady of the Moon. She was high priestess of our tunnels, although that does not mean as much today as it once did. But she was not from our tunnels. She came from a distant place where the Lady of the Moon was most sacred, where she was trained in dancing and teaching. Remember. She told me that she learned to dance in a great hall wider than 3 tunnels together and taller than the meeting cave. And they would dance within the shadows between the rays of light cast by the setting moon from the many windows. Thus, it was a place of hills and tunnels like our home, and not just deep tunnels like the goblins of the North Valley, but bigger than our tunnels. So maybe it was the mountains past the North Valley? I asked her once how they could have so many windows so close together without outsiders seeing and knowing it was a place of goblins. She told me that it was a place of fallen and piled rocks, and so windows to the outside looked like gaps between the fallen rocks. I am told the northern mountains are rocky places. Perhaps that is where they are. But that does not feel right. Remember. She told me another story that I did not understand. She told me that when she became a high priestess, she was taken to a most holy place. It was small, containing a large and beautiful goblet and a large window from which the moon could shine through. She was left there for a day and a night and given no food or water, and told not to drink the water from the goblet, but that she could be let out early if she could see her reflection in the moonlight cast on the goblet's waters. I asked her, could she not wait until the water was still and just look at it? But she shook her head and said I did not understand. She told me that when she did this, she got so thirsty she could not bear to look at the goblet, but turned and looked out the window. Remember. There was a great expanse. It must have been a high place. Yes, it was the mount... but no. For she said from the window she saw more waters still. But that there was a smell too. Remember. It was the smell of salt! For it was the sea! She was not in the northern mountains at all, but the cliffs to the south by the sea. Thank you, Journal, for you have helped me to remember. You have given me 2 gifts now, so I will keep you with me still. But we go now to a place where the Lady of the Moon is most sacred, and you could tell people of how I cursed her in my fear. So, if I need to, I will burn you. Later, same day. Grandma told me that she was let out of the holy room, and she told the priest on the other side of the door that goblins are in moonlight like salt is in water. I asked her if she meant that we were unseen, but she shook her head. She said I would understand when I was older. I am older now, and I still do not understand. Well, that was session 2. Very, very interesting. We're kind of fleshing out the world a bit more, expanding on goblin society and religion. I'm looking forward to doing that more when she gets to her destination. But before that, we have to draw heart cards, which will determine events that happen to her on the route to her destination. Should be very interesting. It's unclear whether she'll make it there or something horrible will befall her on the way. So, if you want to find out what happens next, come back next week.